Chapter 1. The Uninvited Guests. Good evening, everyone. Settle in, turn down the lights, and let's dive into some real-life babysitting nightmares from the quiet suburbs of the Pacific Northwest. These are the kinds of stories that make you double-check your locks at night. Tonight's first tale happened just a few years ago outside Tacoma, Washington, where the rain never seems to stop, and the evergreens crowd right up to the edges of the cul-de-sacs. Jenna Harper was 17, a junior in high school who'd been babysitting since she was 14. She wasn't doing it for pocket money anymore. College was looming, and every shift helped chip away at the savings goals she kept taped inside her locker. The family she sat for most often was the Langfords, Derek and Monica, both lawyers who worked long hours and attended even longer charity events. They had two boys, Grayson, 6, and Elliot, 9, who were polite, funny, and genuinely easy to watch. The Langfords paid well, always left cash on the counter, and never came home later than they promised. That Saturday night in early November, the rain came down in sheets. Monica texted Jenna around 4 p.m. An emergency gala replacement meant they needed her by 6. Jenna didn't hesitate. She threw on her rain jacket, grabbed her backpack with homework and snacks, and walked the 3 blocks to the Langfords' split-level house on Cedar Ridge Court. The street was quiet, except for the steady drumming on the leaves overhead. Derek and Monica were already dressed when she arrived, him in a tux, her in a deep green gown. They gave the usual rundown. Boys had eaten. Bedtime by 8:30. Help yourself to anything in the fridge. Emergency numbers on the corkboard. Monica paused at the door, keys in hand. "Oh, and the garage door opener is acting up again," she said, frowning. "If it sticks, just use the side door. We'll get it fixed next week." They left at 6:15. The house settled into its familiar evening rhythm. Rain against the big picture window in the living room. The low hum of the refrigerator. The occasional creak of old beams cooling in the damp air. Jenna played board games with the boys until 8, then marched them upstairs for pajamas and teeth brushing. Grayson fell asleep almost instantly, clutching his stuffed orca. Elliot asked for one extra chapter of his dog-eared fantasy book, and Jenna obliged, reading by the soft glow of his bedside lamp. By 8:45, both boys were out. She closed the door most of the way, leaving it cracked like they preferred, and headed downstairs. The living room felt cozy under the warm light of 2 floor lamps. Jenna poured herself a glass of lemonade, pulled out her biology textbook, and tried to focus. The rain intensified, rattling the gutters like someone throwing handfuls of gravel. Around 9:30, she heard the faint metallic groan of the garage door rolling up. She froze. The Langfords weren't due back until at least 11. Maybe they forgot something. But their cars weren't in the driveway when she arrived, and she hadn't heard an engine pull in. Jenna set her book down and walked quietly to the kitchen, which overlooked the garage entry. The side door into the house opened with a soft click, then footsteps. Multiple sets, moving across the tile. Not the Langfords. 3 figures stepped into the kitchen, all in dark hoodies and black ski masks. One carried a duffel bag. Another held a flashlight that swept across the room and landed on Jenna. She didn't scream. She couldn't. Her throat locked up. "Kids asleep?" the tallest one asked, voice low and muffled. Jenna nodded slowly, hands raised. "Good. Stay quiet and nobody gets hurt." They moved fast. One zip-tied her wrists behind her back and sat her on a dining chair. Another went straight upstairs. The third started opening drawers and cabinets with practiced efficiency. Jenna's mind raced. The boys, if they woke up and cried out. Minutes later, the one who'd gone upstairs returned, pushing Grayson and Elliot ahead of him. Both boys were wide-eyed, confused, still in their pajamas. Grayson started to whimper. The man guided them to the living room and sat them on the couch beside Jenna. He tied the boys' wrists too, loosely, almost gently, then returned to helping the others search. They weren't finding what they wanted. Jenna could tell by the rising tension in their voices, the way they slammed cabinets harder. "Where's the safe?" The tall one hissed to his partner. "There isn't one. They said the cash would be here." They tore through the office, the master bedroom, the basement storage. Monica's jewelry box yielded a few nice pieces, but nothing like the haul they seemed to expect. Frustration turned to anger. One of them kicked over a side table. Jenna sat rigid, trying to keep the boys calm with small nods, and whispered, "It's okay, that weren't okay at all." Grayson leaned against her, trembling. The tall intruder, the one who'd first spoken, kept glancing at Jenna. Something in the way he tilted his head felt familiar. After the third fruitless sweep of the upstairs, he crouched in front of her while the others argued in the kitchen. "You don't remember me, do you?" he muttered, voice barely audible through the mask. Jenna shook her head, heart hammering. "Middle school. Your brother Ryan and his friends used to shove me into lockers. Called me freak because of the burn scar on my neck." A cold wave washed over her. She did remember now. A quiet kid named Caleb who'd transferred away sophomore year. Rumors said his family moved after his dad lost his job. He reached behind her and, with a quick motion, sliced the zip tie on her wrists. Not enough for her to fight. Just enough that when the time came, she could move. "Don't say anything," he whispered. "When we leave, get the kids out the front." He stood and rejoined the others. Moments later, they gave up. The take was light. Some cash from Derek's desk, Monica's jewelry, a couple laptops. They stuffed it into the duffel and headed back toward the garage. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone on the street must have seen the strange van parked crookedly at the curb. The intruders bolted. Jenna yanked the loosened ties free, cut the boys with a kitchen knife, and ran to the front door. She flung it open just as two patrol cars screeched into the cul-de-sac, lights painting the rain red and blue. The officers took statements, searched the house, called the Langfords home early. The boys clung to Jenna until their parents arrived. Monica hugged her so tightly Jenna could barely breathe. Later, when the house was quiet again and the rain had softened to a whisper, Jenna noticed something on the coffee table that hadn't been there before. An old Polaroid photo tucked halfway under a magazine. It showed a younger Ryan, her brother, standing with a group of boys in front of the middle school. In the background, half hidden, was a skinny kid with a visible burn scar on his neck. Jenna stared at it for a long time, rain tapping the window like fingers that wouldn't stop knocking. She never babysat for the Langfords again, and every time thunder rolled through the Puget Sound, she wondered if Caleb was still out there, watching quiet houses on rainy nights. But that wasn't the last strange thing that happened in those suburbs, not by a long shot. Next time, we'll hear about a little girl who listened to voices no one else could hear, and what those voices told her to do when she was left alone with a babysitter. Chapter 2, Whispers from Within. If the last story left you checking your garage door twice, this next one might make you think twice about the quiet kids, the ones who don't run around screaming, but just watch. This happened a couple of years back in Everett, Washington, just north of Seattle. The neighborhoods there are a mix of old mill worker rentals and newer apartments, all under that constant gray sky and drizzle that makes everything feel a little muffled. Riley Thompson was 20, a sophomore at the community college, studying early childhood education because she genuinely loved kids. She'd been nannying part-time since high school and had a reputation for being patient, creative, the kind of sitter parents fought over. That fall, she got a text from a new client. Mr. and Mrs. Delgado needed someone last minute for their 10-year-old daughter, Harper. Date night, dinner, and a show in Seattle. They'd be home by 11. Easy money, Riley thought. The house was a small, faded blue rental on a street lined with maple trees that dropped wet leaves onto every sidewalk. When Riley arrived at 5:30, the sun was already sinking behind the clouds, turning the whole block the color of wet cement. Mrs. Delgado answered the door in a rush, coat half on, earrings still in her hand. "Thank you so much for coming on short notice," she said, ushering Riley inside. Harper's in her room finishing homework. She's quiet, doesn't need much entertaining. Just make sure she eats and gets to bed by 9. Mr. Delgado poked his head out of the kitchen, tie loosened. "There's lasagna in the fridge. Help yourself. We'll text when we're on our way back." They left in a swirl of perfume and car keys. The front door clicked shut, and the house went almost unnaturally still. Riley called up the stairs. "Harper, I'm Riley, your babysitter tonight." A small voice drifted down. "Okay." Harper appeared at the top of the stairs a minute later, thin, pale, with straight dark hair that fell over one eye. She wore an oversized hoodie and moved like someone trying not to make noise on purpose. Riley smiled and waved her down. They heated up lasagna together. Harper ate slowly, staring at her plate more than at Riley. Conversation was one-sided at first. Riley talking about school, asking about Harper's favorite subjects. Math, apparently. What shows she liked. None, really. Harper answered in short sentences, eyes flicking up occasionally, then back down. After dinner, Harper asked to go back to her room to read. Riley said sure, settled on the couch with her laptop, and started an assignment. The house creaked softly around her. Old pipes, wind pushing against the single-pane windows, rain starting to tap the roof like impatient fingers. Around 7:30, Riley realized she hadn't heard a page turn in a while. She climbed the stairs quietly and paused outside Harper's door, which was ajar. Inside, Harper sat cross-legged on her bed, book closed in her lap, head tilted as if listening to something far away. Then Riley heard it, a low murmur. Harper was talking, not reading aloud. Talking. "She seems nice," Harper whispered. "But you said they always seem nice at first." Silence. Then Harper again, voice sharper. I know what you said, but she hasn't done anything yet." Riley's skin prickled. She leaned closer. Harper's tone shifted, deeper, almost angry. "Stop rushing me. I'll do it when it's time." Riley knocked softly. "Everything okay in there?" Harper's head snapped toward the door. For a second her face was blank, then she smiled, small, polite. "Yeah, just talking to myself. I do that sometimes." Riley nodded, not sure what to say. "Okay, let me know if you need anything." Back downstairs, she tried to focus on her laptop, but the murmurs kept drifting down, faint but unmistakable. Sometimes Harper's normal voice, sometimes something lower, rougher, like she was imitating someone else. At 8:45, Riley went up to start the bedtime routine. Harper was standing in the hallway now, staring at the basement door at the end of the hall. "Time for bed, kiddo," Riley said gently. Harper didn't move. "They want you to go downstairs." Riley laughed nervously. "Who does?" The voices. Harper turned to look at her. The hallway light was dim, casting shadows under the girl's eyes. "They say you're too nice. That nice ones are the most dangerous because you trust them." Riley's stomach tightened. "Harper, let's get you to bed, okay? Maybe you're tired." Harper stepped closer. "They say if I lock you in the basement tonight, you won't come back up. And then everything will be quiet again." Riley took a slow step back. "That's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny." Harper's voice was flat, calm. "They've been loud ever since Mom and Dad started leaving me with sitters. They don't like strangers in the house." Riley glanced toward the stairs. The front door was down there. Her phone was in her pocket. "Harper, let's go to your room. We can read a book until your parents get home." Harper moved suddenly, darted past Riley and down the hall toward the basement door. Riley lunged after her, but Harper was fast. She yanked the door open, revealing steep wooden stairs disappearing into darkness. "Come on," Harper said, almost pleading. "Just go down for a minute. They want to see you." Riley grabbed the girl's arm, gently but firmly. "No, we're closing this and going to bed." Harper twisted free with surprising strength and shoved Riley, hard. Riley stumbled backward, catching herself on the wall. Harper darted into the basement and slammed the door behind her. Riley heard the click of the lock from the inside. For a second, Riley stood frozen. Then she ran downstairs, grabbed her phone, and texted Mrs. Delgado. Everything okay? But Harper locked herself in the basement. Should I be worried? The reply came fast. She does that sometimes when she's upset. Just leave her. She'll come out when she's ready. We're on our way. Riley waited in the living room, heart pounding. 20 minutes later, headlights swept the driveway. The Delgados came in looking flustered but not panicked. Mrs. Delgado sighed. We're so sorry. She's been struggling lately. Therapy hasn't helped as much as we hoped. They coaxed Harper out of the basement. The girl emerged silent, avoided Riley's eyes, and went straight to her room. The Delgados paid Riley double and apologized again. Riley left feeling unsettled, but told herself it was just a troubled kid acting out. She didn't babysit for them again. Years later, Riley had graduated, was working at a preschool. She was scrolling through local news during lunch when a headline stopped her cold. Everett woman, 17, arrested for poisoning co-worker at coffee shop. The photo was unmistakable. Harper Delgado, older now, dark hair still falling over one eye. The article said the victim had been a friendly mentor figure who'd taken Harper under her wing. Co-workers reported Harper complaining about voices telling her the woman was dangerous. Riley stared at the screen for a long time. That night, cleaning out an old backpack, she found a folded piece of paper she didn't remember keeping. It was a child's drawing, crayon on lined notebook paper. A stick figure girl with long dark hair stood next to a taller figure with yellow hair and a big smile. Over the taller figure's face was a thick red tenth. On the back, in careful block letters, she was too nice. Riley never told anyone about that night in Everett. But sometimes, when she's reading to her preschool class, and one of the quiet kids stares a little too long, she wonders what voices they might be hearing. And she wonders if Harper ever got them to stop. Coming up next, a babysitter who kept getting phone calls asking if the children were asleep yet, and the police trace that turned her blood to ice. Stay with me. The night's just getting started. Chapter 3, The Caller Inside. By now, you're probably side-eyeing every creak in your house, wondering if it's just the wind or something else. This next story takes us a little farther south, to Olympia, Washington's capital, where the fog rolls in thick off the sound and wraps the old neighborhoods like a wet blanket. Claire Morrison was 18, fresh out of high school, and working weekends at a coffee shop while figuring out her next move. She'd been babysitting twins since they were toddlers, Lily and Logan, now 5 years old. Their parents, the Hargroves, both worked for the state, long hours in offices downtown. Claire knew the routine by heart: dinner by 6, bath by 7, bed by 8. No exceptions. The Hargroves were loving but strict, especially about one thing: the old landline in the kitchen. Don't answer it unless the caller ID shows one of our numbers, Mrs. Hargrove always said. It's mostly robocalls these days, or wrong numbers. We keep it for emergencies. That January evening, the fog was so dense Claire could barely see the porch light from the street when she arrived. The Craftsman bungalow sat on a corner lot, its wide eaves dripping steadily. Inside, the fireplace crackled, throwing orange light across the hardwood floors, and the kids scattered toys. The twins were in high spirits, chasing each other around the living room in their matching dinosaur pajamas. Claire wrangled them through dinner, mac and cheese with broccoli hidden in the sauce, then baths, then stories. By 8:15, both were tucked in upstairs, nightlight glowing softly, door left open a few inches. Claire kissed their foreheads, whispered goodnight, and padded downstairs. She curled up on the couch with a blanket, the fire popping quietly, fog pressing against the windows like it wanted to come in. The house smelled faintly of pine from the wood burning, and whatever candle Mrs. Hargrove had lit earlier, something warm and spicy. At 9 sharp, the landline rang. The sound cut through the quiet like a knife, sharp, old-fashioned, impossible to ignore. Claire glanced at the clock. The Hargroves weren't due back until after 10. She walked to the kitchen, bare feet cold on the tile, and looked at the caller ID. Unknown. She let it ring out. 10 rings, then silence. Claire shrugged, poured herself some herbal tea, and went back to scrolling on her phone. The fire settled into a steady glow. 9:20. The phone rang again. Same thing. Unknown. She ignored it. 9:40. Third time. This time, curiosity won. Maybe it was the Hargroves calling from a different number. Claire picked up the receiver. Hello? A man's voice, low and even. Have the children gone to sleep yet? Claire's grip tightened. The voice wasn't familiar. No background noise, no music, no traffic, nothing. Who is this? Have they gone to sleep? He repeated. Same calm tone. They're fine, Claire said, trying to sound bored. Wrong number, I think. She hung up quickly and checked the doors. Front locked, back locked, deadbolts thrown. Everything secure. 10 o'clock. Fourth call, Claire answered faster this time. Stop calling here. Why haven't you checked on them? The voice asked, a touch sharper now. You should make sure they're sleeping. Her skin crawled. I'm calling the police if you ring again. Click. He hung up first. Claire's hands shook as she dialed Mrs. Hargrove's cell. No answer, probably still driving in the fog. She left a quick voicemail. Hey, just wanted to check in. Everything's good here. 10:15. The phone rang once more. She snatched it up without thinking. They're asleep now, aren't they? The voice whispered, almost eager. Claire slammed the receiver down and immediately called 911. The dispatcher was calm, professional. Stay on the line with me. We're tracing the calls. Claire paced the kitchen, corded phone pressed to her ear, watching the fog swirl outside the window over the sink. Minutes dragged. She heard typing on the other end, muffled radio chatter. Then the dispatcher's voice changed, urgent, low. Ma'am, you need to leave the house right now. The calls are coming from inside, upstairs. Specifically, the attic access. Claire dropped the phone. It clattered against the counter, still connected. She didn't scream. She ran. Straight to the front door, yanked it open, and bolted into the fog. The cold, wet air hit her face as she sprinted across the lawn in socks, waving her arms at the street. 2 patrol cars turned the corner almost immediately, lights flashing silent blue and red through the mist. Officers jumped out, guns drawn, and moved toward the house. Claire stood on the sidewalk, hugging herself, breath fogging in front of her. 10 minutes later, one of the officers came back out. His face was pale under the porch light. We got him, he said. Attic pull-down stairs in the hallway closet. He'd been living up there for weeks. Food wrappers, sleeping bag, the works. Even had a burner phone. Claire's knees buckled. Did he hurt the kids? No. They slept through the whole thing. He didn't go near their room. Said he was just watching, making sure the babysitters were doing it right. The man was in his 40s, disheveled, no prior record anyone could find quickly. He didn't fight arrest, just sat quietly while they cuffed him, staring at Claire through the attic opening like he was disappointed in her. The Hargroves arrived 20 minutes later, horrified. They'd had no idea anyone was in the house. The attic access was rarely used. They stored holiday decorations up there and nothing else. Claire gave her statement wrapped in a blanket in the back of a patrol car, twins asleep in their parents' arms inside. She never went back to that house. Never babysat again, actually. But months later, on a foggy night when she was house-sitting for a friend, her cell phone rang. Unknown number. She stared at the screen a long time, then let it go to voicemail. There was no message, just breathing. Chapter 4. The Boy Who Played Games. If the last few stories have you questioning every unexplained noise in your house, this one might make you rethink those perfect-looking families in the brand-new neighborhoods. We're heading east of Seattle now, to one of those gleaming, gated communities near Bellevue, where the houses are all sharp angles and triple garages. The lawns are manicured year-round, and everyone drives something European and spotless. Megan Walsh was 16, a sophomore with a packed schedule of honors classes, volleyball practice, and babysitting gigs that paid for her gas and phone bill. She'd been watching kids since she was 13, and prided herself on handling even the tough ones. So when Mrs. Ellison from Cedar Gate Estates posted in the neighborhood app looking for a sitter that Friday night, Megan jumped at it. The pay was outstanding, $150 for a few hours, and the Ellisons were new in town, some big tech couple attending a company gala in the city. The house was massive, white stucco, huge windows, a 3-car garage already open when Megan pulled up in her beat-up Honda. Mr. and Mrs. Ellison greeted her at the door in full black tie, him in a tailored tux, her in a shimmering silver gown that probably cost more than Megan's car. Their son, Liam, 9 years old, lounged on the sectional in the great room, thumbs flying over a gaming controller. Blonde hair, expensive sneakers, the kind of bored expression that came from having every toy he could want. Liam's had dinner, Mrs. Ellison said quickly, checking her diamond watch. He can stay up until 10, maybe 10:30 if he's good. There's snack stuff in the pantry. Order pizza if you want. We'll drive you home when we're back. Mr. Ellison crouched down to Liam's level. Behave tonight, buddy. We want Megan to have only good things to say when we get home, okay? Liam nodded without looking up from his game. Yeah, sure. They left at 7 sharp. The front door shut with a heavy, expensive thunk, and the house went quiet, except for the electronic music from Liam's game. Megan kicked off her shoes in the foyer, marble floors, soaring ceilings, everything echoing. She wandered into the great room. Floor-to-ceiling windows looked out over the community's artificial lake, lights from other mansions twinkling across the water. Want to play something together? She asked Liam. Or watch a movie? He paused the game and finally looked at her. I'm good. Megan shrugged, pulled out her phone, and sat on the opposite end of the sectional. The summer evening was warm. The Ellisons had left the sliding doors cracked, letting in a soft breeze and the distant hum of sprinklers. For an hour, it was peaceful. Liam played. Megan texted friends and scrolled. Occasionally she glanced over. He seemed fine. Then around 8:30, Liam tossed his controller onto the ottoman with a dramatic sigh. This is boring. Megan smiled. Okay, what do you want to do? He tilted his head, studying her. Entertain me, like a board game? There's probably a ton in this house. No, he grinned, but it didn't reach his eyes. Dance, or sing, or do something funny. Mom and Dad are paying you to be here, right? So make it worth it. Megan laughed, thinking he was joking. No. I'm here to watch you, not perform. Liam's grin faded. Come on, just a little dance. I'm good, thanks. He stared for a long beat, then shrugged and went back to his game. 10 minutes later, do you have a boyfriend? Megan glanced up. Not right now, Liam smirked. Yeah, I figured. Heat crept up her neck. Okay, that's not cool. Let's keep it respectful. He ignored her, thumbs mashing buttons harder. Another 10 minutes. Liam stood suddenly and walked over. Can I have a hug? Megan hesitated but nodded. Kids sometimes just needed reassurance in big, empty houses. He stepped in close, arms around her waist. Then sharp pain exploded in her forearm. Liam had bitten her, hard enough to break skin. She yelped and shoved him away. What the hell? Before she could process, he snatched her phone from her hand and bolted to the open sliding door. In one fluid motion, he hurled it into the dark backyard. Megan ran after him, out onto the patio. The yard sloped down toward the lake. Her phone had vanished somewhere in the perfectly landscaped bushes. Liam, bring that back right now. He just stood there, hands in his pockets, smiling. Megan stormed past him, searching the flower beds by phone flashlight. Behind her, she heard the sliding door close and lock. She whipped around. Liam waved from inside, then disappeared deeper into the house. Megan pounded on the glass. "Open this door." No response. She circled to the front. Locked. Garage. Locked. Every door secure. Then she heard Liam screaming. High-pitched, terrified. "Help! She's hurting me. Somebody help!" Lights flicked on in neighboring houses. A man jogged over from across the street, mid-40s, golf shirt, concerned scowl. "What's going on?" he called through the gate. Megan's stomach dropped. No, that's not... He locked me out. He's fine." More neighbors appeared. Someone opened the front door from inside. Liam must have let them in. He was on the couch now, clutching his arm dramatically, face streaked with crocodile tears. "She bit me," he wailed, pointing at Megan through the window. "And she threw my game." The neighbors turned accusing stares on her. Megan's face burned. "That's not what happened. He bit me. Look!" She held up her arm. Clear teeth marks welled with blood. But Liam was already working the crowd, voice cracking perfectly. "She's mean!" she yelled at me and locked herself out. Megan felt tears prick her eyes. Frustration, humiliation, panic. These people didn't know her. They knew the Ellisons. Sirens approached fast. Someone had called the cops. 2 officers arrived within minutes. Megan explained everything, voice shaking, while Liam sat quietly now, wide-eyed and innocent. One officer knelt to Liam's level. "Kid, where'd you get that bruise on your arm?" Liam froze. The officer raised an eyebrow. "Looks pretty fresh. Want to tell me the real story?" Liam glanced at the growing crowd, then at Megan. For the first time, real fear flickered across his face. Before he could answer, both officers' radios crackled. "All units, be advised. Suspects matching description from tonight's gala robbery in custody. Male and female, mid-30s, armed. Victims, stable." The officers exchanged a look. Mrs. Ellison's silver gown and Mr. Ellison's tux suddenly made sense. They'd matched witness descriptions from a violent robbery at the gala venue. Security footage had caught them fleeing. Liam's parents weren't coming home tonight, or for years. The officers took Liam into protective custody. Megan gave her statement at the station, arm bandaged, still shaking. A social worker explained Liam had been acting out for months, testing limits, manipulating situations. His parents' high-stress double life probably hadn't helped. Megan got her phone back, miraculously undamaged, and a ride home from one of the kinder neighbors who'd realized what was happening. She never took another gig in a gated community. 3 years later, an anonymous text popped up on her new number. "Thanks for playing along that night. Hope your arm's okay. No name." Blocked number. Megan deleted it, but she still has the scar. A perfect half-moon of teeth marks that never quite faded. We've got one more story left, and it's the one that ties everything together in the worst way. Out in the rural edges past Snohomish, there's an old farmhouse where something waits for every new babysitter who walks through the door, and one man who keeps trying to warn them. You might want to keep a light on for this last one. I'll be right back. Chapter 5. The Thing That Waits. We've made it to the last story of the night. If the others kept you glancing over your shoulder, this one might make you turn on every light in the house. We're leaving the suburbs now and heading out to the rural edges past Snohomish, Washington, where the evergreens grow thick and tall. The roads turn to gravel, and old farmhouses sit back from the highway like they're hiding something. Sarah Kendrick was 24, a full-time nanny with years of experience and glowing references. She'd seen it all: tantrums, night terrors, picky eaters, but she loved the work. That October, money was tight after her car needed major repairs. So when an unsolicited text came through a sitter app for a last-minute overnight job, she took it. The parents needed someone from 6 p.m. Until morning, their usual sitter had canceled. 2 kids, ages 8 and 10, $180 cash. The address was a farmhouse 20 minutes outside town. Sarah arrived just as the sun dipped behind the trees, painting the sky bruised purple and gold. The house was a big 1920s, two-story with peeling white paint, wraparound porch, and a detached garage half swallowed by blackberry vines. The surrounding fields were overgrown, bordered by dense woods that rustled constantly in the wind. Mr. and Mrs. Vaughn greeted her at the door, mid-30s, tired smiles, dressed for a rare night out in the city. They moved quickly, like people running late. "Ava's 8, Noah's 10, Mrs. Vaughn said, handing over a scribbled note. "They've eaten, bed by 9. They're very independent." "You'll barely hear from them," Mr. Vaughn added. "Don't open the door for anyone after dark. We get drifters sometimes out this far." The kids appeared at the top of the stairs, Ava with long brown braids, Noah lanky and serious. They watched silently as their parents left. The front door shut, tires crunched down the long gravel drive, and then nothing but wind through the trees. Sarah smiled up at them. "Hey guys, pizza and a movie sound good?" They came down without a word. The living room was cozy enough. Worn couches, a stone fireplace, cold and dark, old family photos on the mantel. The kids sat on the carpet and started a memory card game they clearly knew by heart. Sarah ordered pizza, spread out her overnight bag, and settled in. The children were unnervingly well-behaved. No fighting, no begging for extra screen time. They ate neatly, cleared their plates, and when 9 o'clock came, went upstairs without protest. Sarah followed to tuck them in. 2 small bedrooms at the end of the hall, doors opposite each other. Ava whispered goodnight and rolled over. Noah just nodded and stared at the ceiling. Back downstairs, Sarah texted a friend, then opened her laptop to catch up on emails. The house creaked around her, old wood settling, wind pushing at the windows. Outside, the autumn leaves scraped across the porch like dry bones. Around 10, 3 soft knocks came from the front door. Sarah froze. The Vaughns had said not to open it. The knocks came again. Slower, deliberate. She crept to the window and peeled back the curtain an inch. A man stood on the porch, tall, hooded jacket, face hidden in shadow. He didn't move, just stood there, staring at the door. Sarah backed away, heart racing. She double-checked the deadbolt, then texted Mrs. Vaughn, "Someone's at the door." "Should I call police?" No immediate reply. Upstairs, muffled voices, Ava and Noah talking low and fast. Sarah climbed the stairs quietly. Both bedroom doors were closed now. She knocked softly on Noah's. "Everything okay?" His voice came through, calm but urgent. "Don't open the door. It's him, the bad man. He comes when we have new babysitters." Ava's voice from across the hall. "He wants to take us away. Please stay downstairs and don't let him in." Sarah's mouth went dry. "I'm not opening it. I promise. Go back to sleep." She returned to the living room, phone in hand, ready to dial 911. The knocking stopped. Minutes later, scratching sounded at the kitchen window. Sarah turned, and there he was, inches from the glass. His face wasn't right. Skin melted and scarred, like it had been burned away in patches, revealing raw pink beneath. One eye milky, the other wide and frantic. His mouth moved, forming words she couldn't hear, hands pressed flat against the pane. Sarah stumbled back. He banged once, hard, then disappeared into the dark. She ran upstairs and pushed into the kids' rooms. Both were sitting up in bed, eyes gleaming in the hallway light. "He's trying to get in," Noah said quietly. "He always does." Sarah barricaded the upstairs hall with a dresser, then called 911. While she whispered to the dispatcher, the kids watched her, too still, too calm. Then Ava lunged. Small teeth sank into Sarah's wrist like needles. Noah grabbed her legs, pulling her down. They moved with unnatural strength, scratching, biting, dragging her toward the stairs. Sarah screamed, kicking free, and bolted into Noah's room. She slammed the door and shoved a chair under the knob. The scarred man's face appeared at the window. Second story. He pounded desperately, mouthing "help them" over and over. The door shuddered under blows from the children. Wood splintered. Sarah grabbed a bedside lamp and swung when the door burst open. The man climbed through the window, glass shattering, and seized the kids. They fought him like animals, clawing at his burned face, drawing fresh blood. Sarah crawled out into the hall, down the stairs, leaving red smears from bites and cuts. The back door was unlocked. She threw herself into the cold night, rolling across dead leaves. Headlights swept the drive. A woman jumped out of an older pickup, strong and fast. She grabbed Sarah, hauled her into the passenger seat, and peeled out before Sarah could speak. They drove in silence for miles. Finally, the woman spoke, voice shaking. "That was my brother, Daniel. He used to babysit those kids 3 years ago. They locked him in the garage with gasoline and lit it. He barely crawled out alive. No one believed him. The Vaughns said he'd been drinking, fell asleep with a space heater." Case closed? She gripped the wheel tighter. The parents know something's wrong with those kids, but they keep hiring new sitters anyway. Daniel's been watching the house ever since, trying to warn people. Tonight was the first time someone listened long enough for him to get inside. Sarah stared out the window, blood drying on her skin. "What? Are they?" The woman shook her head. "I don't know. Something that waits for strangers. Something that gets hungry when the parents leave. They never went to the police. Too many questions. No proof that wouldn't sound insane." The woman patched Sarah up, paid her hospital bill in cash, and helped her disappear for a while. The farmhouse still stands. The Vaughns still live there. Every few months, a new ad goes up on local sitter apps. Great pay, easy kids, overnight preferred. And sometimes, on windy autumn nights, a scarred man is seen near the tree line, watching the porch light, waiting for the next car to pull into the gravel drive. Sarah talks to Daniel's sister once in a while. They never say much, but they both know the thing in that house is still waiting, and it always will be. Thank you for staying with me through these stories tonight. If you're watching from the Pacific Northwest, maybe check your doors one more time before bed. Sleep well. If you can, good night.